By Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Stop doing those diet or workout fads to lose weight. Use the tried and true approach from Rockin' That Ideal Life that helps you find balance while enjoying food in moderation and nourishing your body. Try the Lean 30 program at rockinthatIdealLife.com and let today be your last first day of your weight loss journey.
When buying or selling your home, you need to feel protected. Realtor Mike Burgoyne not only looks out for your interests, but as a St. Louis area police officer will make sure you feel safe and well-informed with every decision. Email Mike at strikewithmike.com and start the process today. That's Mike at strikewithmike.com. Welcome to episode 5 of season 13. This is episode number 436 all time of the often imitated, never duplicated, named people's sexiest men in blues podcasting. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to our sponsors, rockinthatidlife.com, Mike from Strike with Mike. You can email him over at Mike at strikewithmike.com for all your home buying and selling needs, and centericebrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. Don't forget to check out our t-shirt shop at letsgoblues.com for some well-designed and fairly priced blues-themed t-shirts. It's Wednesday, November 8th, and we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. To interact with the show on social media, our handle on all channels is at LGB Radio. Just search for us, and you'll find us. And if you haven't already done so, please like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, buy a t-shirt from our shop. Write a message on your buttocks for your next proctologist appointment, or do whatever you can do to help us out. I'm your host, Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by the vivacious Bill Day. Kurt Price is facing allegations, and producer Austin is either dead or in witness protection. We have no idea. The agenda for tonight includes the Blues' recent performance against the Jets, trade rumors regarding the Blues' goaltender, and the Blackhawks are just gonna Blackhawk. All that and more on this incredibly gorgeous episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Again, we have no Kirk Price tonight. He had some things come up. So Bill and I are going to hold down the fort. I know we're not as attractive. I think the reason people named us the sexiest men in blues podcasting was because of Kirk Price. But Bill and I, we hold our own. We're doing okay. How you doing over there, Bill?
I'm doing well. And to be fair, Peoples is Amy, so of course she's going to say Kurt's the sexiest one.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Amy, she likes the clean-shaven folks, the guys who actually care about what they look like, and then you got me and you.
Yeah. And it's hard to give a shit at this, at 47 and 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night. So
yep, I hear you. Yeah, it was. I had a crazy long day. Eye doctor had to go. I got my vaccine, so I was really concerned. I was like, oh boy, hopefully I don't have a weird reaction. Nothing like that, just a little bit of a sore arm. And then I actually had to start my physical therapy for an injury I have right now. So I'm like, I got the show tonight. Hopefully I'm awake for it, but I'm feeling pretty good.
Man, you're sounding older than me.
Dude, I'm getting there. It's like when I turned 35, it just went downhill. Sorry, folks under 35. Like when that happened, it was like injuries, doctors, appointments more. It just started hitting me more. So I don't know. Was that the same for you, or was it about 40 when it hit you?
So I think I was 35 when I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So pretty much, yeah. But hopefully you don't have that. Although mine's very, very well controlled. So
yeah.
To the point that if my life ever gets easier, less stressful, I really want to get back into playing goal on ice. But yeah. I said that for 2 years now, and
it's been a while. Yeah, we'd love
closer.
to have you, man.
Not any closer to it. So we'll see what the next year brings.
Keep working, man. You never know. I play with Oh God, Kurt's already in the chat.
Are you
Hey man, if you got
kidding me?
nothing else going on, come on, join us. We're happy to have you. But he says, "Are you just now getting started?" Shut up.
Just now getting started. If he were joining us, we'd be another 20 minutes out.
Yes, we would. Yes, we are just now getting started. But yes, I had an injury recently. I don't know if I've talked about it on the show or not, but for about a year and a half now, I've been having this weird, and it's both my feet. Stop me if you've heard this one, Bill. But yeah, I on the outsides of my feet, it just started it started when I would just take my skates off after a game, and it would be a blinding, horrible pain, but that was it. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that. Over time, it started bleeding into my running, and then it started bleeding into when I was even playing hockey. So really anything what my podiatrist calls pounding on your feet, which is skating, running, it's causing this weird pain. Yes, pounding, yes. But yeah, it's this weird pain that's just on the outside of my feet. It's only when I'm doing something physical. I can walk around no problem. I can do anything. I can hop, I can jump, but whenever I'm skating or running, and that's all that I've been able to find that causes it. And it's just this weird problem that the podiatrist can't exactly pinpoint what it is. I started physical therapy tonight, so we'll see if that helps. They say they think it might be a nerve issue, but yeah, it's very odd. So I'm trying to work through that and be patient and not get pissed off because we don't know exactly what it is yet.
Yeah, totally frustrating when you go to a specialist and they're like, beats B.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah,
and that's what it was. The podiatrist even started asking me questions like, well, how do you run? I'm like, what do you mean, how do I run? Like, well, when you skate, where are you putting the pressure on your feet? I'm like, where do you think I'm putting the pressure? Like, he's asking me these dumb questions, but you think about it, it's not dumb. They have to try and diagnose it. Like, what are you doing differently from a normal person that is causing this? But I don't know. A lot of it might stem from me having plantar fasciitis. So maybe I was putting more pressure on the outsides of my feet. So now I've fucked those up because of it. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely does sound like you're getting old. So
yep, that's exactly what it is.
One thing leads to another.
Okay, I got to call Kurt Price out here in the chat. He says, I'm listening now while driving home. You guys sound so sexy. And then in two, he says, I've had a couple beers.
Hey, Kurt, this is called incrimination.
Why don't you correct yourself there? Hopefully Amy's driving, or hell, I don't know. Maybe one of the kids is driving. Maybe Cooper's driving him home. I don't know.
Gotta learn sometime.
Yeah, maybe not Sheldon. Dexter is driving him home.
Yeah, he's big enough to do it.
Oh, he can reach the pedal for sure. Well, what's going on in your world, Bill? Anything?
No, nothing terrible. Trying to soothe the pain of the very disappointing City postseason that ended all too quickly. So I decided one last week with that guy up on the wall. Fritz, as you can see underneath it, is still depressed.
Yes.
He doesn't even want to talk about it. But yeah. So still, I've come to grips with it. First season, they had a great regular season, and just disappointing playoff. Right. And like you said, welcome to St. Louis, where you have to have playoff failure. A 1 seed losing to an 8 seed. We've been there. We've done that. Right. Yep. So
they're just getting accustomed to being a St. Louis sports team.
Yep. And that's their MLS is completely different than European soccer. And we have a ton of Europeans on this team. Right. So they're not used to a postseason, right? You win top in your division, you win the championship. Right. And so, I was disappointed that we couldn't at least get them saying the cliches like got to take it up a notch when you get to the postseason, and it just didn't seem like hardly anybody but maybe Pompeo did that. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, so we're left with the Blues for a while now. So,
yep. Yeah, that was very disappointing. Like I've said before on this show, my wife grew up playing soccer, was playing still in college, big soccer fan growing up, was elated when we got the team, instantly went out, bought merchandise, just had the time of her life sitting and, she's always been a Blues and a Cardinals fan. And, maybe back in the day rooted for the Rams, but, it was just so exciting to see her because, you see me get excited about the Blues and it's like that made her excited. And it was cool. Like she was already a Blues fan, but I kind of brought it more out in her. And with City, it was that for me. It was the opposite. She was instantly super fan. And so I got to kind of piggyback off that and I got totally into it and I loved it every second of it. I can't wait till next season. But yeah, to see that disappointment in the playoffs, just win number one in the West and then not win a game after. That sucked. That was just bad. But like you said, great regular season, exceeded expectations, and it just got so exciting, and you started getting all these high hopes. I thought that first round was going to be difficult for them with the way Kansas City played at the end of the year. But man, I just thought at least 3 games. I thought City would win the 2 home games. I thought they'd split the first 2, and then they'd come home in game 3 and take it. But they just laid an egg in that first game, and it just set the course for the whole postseason for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and as my buddy who's a season ticket holder took me to a couple of the games, pointed out their cup games, the tournament style games that they played, the only one they won all year was against Union Omaha.
Yep.
Right. They lost to KC, they lost to Chicago, they lost to Columbus and Club America. So yeah, they were not designed for tournament style play. They couldn't adapt. So hopefully that's something that's already with them and that they will take into the off season and work on for next year. So Coach
Carnell's got a lot on his plate to look at until February. So it should be interesting to see how they come out of the gate next year.
For sure.
First, a quick announcement. I again co-hosted the Puck Podcast this week with Doug Stolhan. It was my last week filling in for Eddie, who was on his New York trip. So if you want to get some full NHL action and hear me talk about it instead of just in our around the hockey world tidbits, whatever we call that,
rapid fire tidbits.
Thank you. I should know the name of our own segment on my own show. But if you want to hear me talk about the NHL, tune into the Puck Podcast this week. Doug and I had a great time just talking about all the news that's happened around the NHL this week. Spent a good 40 minutes talking about the San Jose Sharks up front and how abysmal that has got to be a Sharks fan. Again, feel for you guys over at Teal Town, USA. They got their first win, though. Very exciting.
Oh, did they?
They beat Philadelphia last night.
I did not check last night's scoreboard, so congrats.
I will tell you, I was nervous because the Blues play them, I think, on Thursday next week. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, if they are winless up until they play the Blues, that's
we're going to lose
calendar that I'm circling. Right. I'm like, they're going to lose that game.
I thought the exact same thing.
I'm glad they got the first win out of the way, so it won't be as weird.
Yeah. Now they can go chase Washington's record for futility.
That's right. That's right. Good Lord. They're still only on pace for like 16 points this year. It's ridiculous.
Insane.
Whew. Yep. Official beers of episode number 436. Remember, you can follow each of us on the Untapped app. You can follow Kurt at CPrice12. Myself, Jeff Ponner, can be found at JPonner94. Bill is Billy Blue Note 33. Bill, lead us off.
All right. I am going with the Founders Vanilla Porter. It's getting washed out by the light, but first time I've had the vanilla porter on the show, at least. Really good, nice, sweet porter for when we're supposed to have cool nights on like these days where it's 85 degrees and the second week in November, like we've got going on right now. But no, as the can says, subtle coffee notes and sweet vanilla aromas. So really good, really good porter from our friends at Founders. And actually, I made a float out of this last week, and it was delicious.
I bet, man, that's a good idea. I've never made a float with a porter before.
Yeah, this one is
probably
perfect
awesome.
For it. Yep. Probably
what kind
gonna
of ice
try
cream
it,
would you use?
Just straight vanilla. So I'm gonna try. I think this weekend I'm gonna try with maybe some chocolate and throw in some Kahlua and see how that goes. So,
ooh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
that maybe that's what we all have when we all get together next time.
Yeah,
for the show, just do some floats.
Yeah, I have plenty of beer to support that. So
awesome. That sounds like a good idea. I like it.
What you got?
Well, tonight, friends, first of all, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. It's a little faded, but I don't know if you can see what that logo is.
Center Ice Brewery.
Center Ice Brewery Cup. Yep, that's what I'm drinking mine out of tonight. And I am drinking the Sam Adams Jacko Pumpkin Ale. Nice. So I had the O'Fallon Pumpkin, which is my favorite last week. This one's pretty good. It probably cracks my top 5 of pumpkin beers out there. There's a lot that I think are, man, I can't remember which one I had. I had one at, I want to say it was at Buffalo Wild Wings about 3 weeks ago, and it was awful. I can't remember who it was by, but I'm like, this tastes like if you took like 5 orange slices, dumped it in, and then filled it with IPA. That's what it tasted like. And it just was not good. I'll have to try to remember the name of that one, but this one is good. If you've never had the Samuel Adams Jacko Pumpkin Ale, it's pretty solid. It's no O'Fallon, but it's a good one. Well, let's go ahead and get into the show, shall we, Bill?
Let's do it.
All right. So first big story on the docket. I hate saying this is a big story because I don't know, Bill, maybe you have different opinion here. I don't know if you've seen the rumor going around today that, the first tweet came out this morning that Reed Wilkins, who apparently is of 6'30", Ched. I don't know if they say Ched, Ched. That's what I would think, right. But I like to call it Ched.
Yeah, it's definitely Ched, but we got to call him Reed from the Ched.
Yeah, right. So Reed from Ched. Reed Wilkins has reported that the Oilers are apparently interested in Blues goaltender Jordan Binnington. Again, Reed Wilkins of 6'30", Ched. And he basically stories have been circulating now out of Edmonton and mostly Canada about how Binnington has 3 years left on his deal, paying him $6 million per. Other news that kind of stems from this, I originally had this in our rapid fire hockey tidbits, but I figured it fits here. I'll move it up. Jack Campbell was put on waivers for the purpose of assignment to the AHL by the Oilers. He has $20 million remaining on his contract. He was originally signed to a 5-year, $25 million contract last summer, which instantly blew up in Edmonton's face, literally instantly last year. Oilers numbers, he is 22, 13, and 4 with an .886 save percentage, 3.53 GAA with 1 shutout. This season, he's 1-4 with an .873 save percentage and a 4.5 GAA. So clearly he has not worked out. So that means Edmonton is on the look probably for another goalie. Stuart Skinner has not been lights out this year either. But good Lord, apparently Jordan Binnington. And again, and Bill, I want to get your take. I read this as Reed Wilkins, whoever the hell that is basically who's a goalie who might be available. Okay, who's low in the standings? Oh, who's a Stanley Cup winner? Okay, Jordan Binnington from St. Louis. That's someone the Oilers are probably interested in. I think that's where this comes from. Again, this isn't why am I drawing a blank? Wyshynski. This
LeBrun.
isn't Elliot Friedman, Pierre LeBrun. It's not, Jeremy Roenick. Sorry, Jeremy Rutherford. Rutherford.
It's not even Jeremy Roenick.
No, this is a guy, it sounds like a sports talk radio host coming up with an idea that would be a good fit for Edmonton. I think this is all a farce. Could be wrong. Bill, what's your take on this?
My take when I first read that was, and the Blues are interested in acquiring Connor McDavid.
Yes.
Right. It's one of those things that it's like, it's easy to say, right? But what's the reality of it? Right. And this is great sports talk radio fodder, right? What would it take to get Binnington, out of St. Louis? Who would St. Louis want? And then you've got the whole Draisaitl. They're gonna have to look at his contract after this season. So how about let's start throwing out some trades here? Kyrou and Binnington for Draisaitl, right? It's just that kind of, like I said, sports talk radio fodder. And I would be shocked if St. Louis at this point would ever consider moving Binnington. He's kind of been the one guy that's like showed up pretty much every night. Although you can argue that he kind of gave up in the third period last night. At least has lost faith in his defense. Well, we can talk about that when we get to the game, but if the Blues were to do it, it would have to be a blockbuster thing, and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you don't see goalie trades typically in October, November, right? It would be a trade deadline deal.
Yeah, and I'll add to so something else that's kind of coming around in the hockey world that I've seen with and we'll talk about it a little later, but the Carolina Hurricanes recently had a pretty severe injury. Undisclosed. I don't know what to call it, but basically something really bad happened with their goalie, Frederik Andersen. And so there was rumors going around. Okay, who are they going to go look at? Who are they going to go get to fill his starts? Even though they've already got, the Russian name goalie, and Antti Ranta. I can't remember his name, Peter something. But anyway, so that was the rumor going around, and then I don't remember exactly who it was, but they said, well, look at Arizona. They'll go get Vejmelka. And it's like, wait a minute. Arizona is in a freaking playoff hunt right now. They are in the playoff picture. Why are they just going to trade their starting goalie to Carolina? To me, that is Canadian media just saying, okay, who out west do we think has a goalie that could come to Carolina? Oh, Vejmelka, of course, because he's on a bad team. Arizona's not a bad team right now. They're not making a trade right now to move their goalie.
They're going to beat us tomorrow night.
Probably will. We'll see. But yeah, they're not moving Vejmelka. And I look at another Canadian media the parallel here. Over the summer, we talked about it. The Toronto Maple Leafs need a GM. What about Doug Armstrong? And there's a million reasons why Doug Armstrong is not going to go to Toronto. One of them being he's under contract. He ain't going anywhere. So, and it would be and I remember it was a demotion too, because he wouldn't be president of hockey ops there. So it's just, this is just Canadian media stirring things up. I don't think there's any legs to this at all. And Jason Miller says here, crappy goalie, in our chat says they'd only trade Binnington if they're going full on white flag tear down and rebuild, right? There can't be anything to this rumor. I'm with you. If they're like, okay, tear it down, trade Thomas, trade Kyrou, trade Parayko, yes, then I think they might look into making a move like this. But right now, you're not just going to hand the keys over to Hofer. I mean, talk about stunning a guy's growth. There's no way you can do that. Unless you're planning on getting another goalie back that's not Jack Campbell, there's no way the Blues make a trade like this.
Yeah, no, for the Blues, it makes zero sense because, we're still trying to figure out who we are. We're not in panic mode yet. As well, the rational fans and, I think the front office here, we're not in, in any kind of panic mode, unlike what's going on in Edmonton. And, it kind of astounds me, right, that Ken Holland, former NHL goalie, can't get the goaltending position right in Edmonton, right? And you know, he did really well with his acquisitions when he was in Detroit, bringing in Vernon, and then also, you know, able to land Dominic Hasek, although Curtis Joseph didn't pan out too well there. It's just kind of astounding. You know, I think that Skinner's collapse this year, right? His sophomore slump is really the aggravating part to them. Their team GAA or save percentages below 90, so you're never going to be successful at that. So it's and you know, I think there's got to be a lot of pressure there, just with, you know, McDavid. McDavid needs to win, and how many people picked the Oilers as the team coming out of the West this year and Stanley Cup favorites. And you can't do it without goaltending, but you can't do it with our goaltending. Sorry.
Jason Miller, again, I agree with you. Holland's best moves were all pre-salary cap, right? Yeah, I mean, you could make a couple cases here and there, I'm sure, but I mean, you look at you know, the Duncan Keith trade that was just not good for Edmonton. Has he made? I mean, I guess signings. You know, Zach Hyman was a good signing. Evander Kane so far has worked out pretty well, but in terms of trades, it seems pretty bare for him since the salary cap era.
Yeah. When you couldn't just load up, you know, every high-end Russian talent in the league and get them to come to Motown.
Yep. Well, we've got plenty more to discuss tonight, as the Blues did have 3 games, as well as some other NHL news going around and some rumors on who might get some ice time tomorrow night against Arizona. We'll talk about all that. You are listening to Kurt. I'm sorry, you are not listening to Kurt, but you are listening to Jeff and Bill on Let's Go Blues Radio. We'll be right back.
We'll return after these messages.
We've all tried a diet or workout fad at one time or another, but it always ends the same, right? We either lose the weight and then get back to our routine, but then put the weight right back on, or it just simply never takes hold. It's time to move into a habit-based program that focuses on organization and simplicity. Rock and That Idea Life's Lean 30 lays it all out for you with the correct food to eat, how to meal prep, and even sprinkles in plenty of healthy recipes. With Lean 30, you'll get the full ID Life arsenal, including energy for that needed kick, a tasty Nourish shake for your needed fiber intake, Slim Plus to help control your cravings and provide a metabolic boost, Lean capsules help bust those sugar cravings, and ID Nutrition gives you the added punch you need that takes the guesswork out of what supplements to take. Join the many who are seeing success and make this your last first day on a new program. Visit rockandthatidealife.com to get started, and remember to email Dustin at rockandthatidealife@gmail.com for an extra 10% off exclusively for Let's Go Blues radio listeners. Start your transformation to the confident, vibrant person you've always wanted to be with rockandthatidealife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a beer lover's dream for hockey fans. Based in St. Louis, Missouri, owner Steve Albers has been brewing hockey-themed favorites for thirsty sports fans since 2017. From the Beauty IPA to the Old Arena Lager, a cold, frosty, hockey-themed beer is just what the doctor ordered for hockey fans in St. Louis. Make sure to check your local beer store for Center Ice Brewery beer today. LGB. Let's go beer.
St. Louis hockey fans know how it takes a reliable captain and a team of hard workers to achieve major goals. As a police officer and a hockey player, Realtor Mike Burgoyne would wear the C in any situation. As a leader in the home buying or selling process, Mike has surrounded himself with a team of trustworthy inspectors, lenders, and escrow officers that work together more cohesively than Hall & Oates. And as a member of many teams in his life, Mike knows the service our first responders, veterans, nurses, teachers, and yes, even you you Let's Go Blues Radio listeners provide the community, so he offers special rates to those individuals. Find the value in Mike's leadership and teamwork today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or calling 314-753-4060. He'll work closely with you and only show you the homes that match your goals. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com or call him at 314-753-4060 and succeed with your new teammate today.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Well, looky there. Looky there.
Tell us stories about lesbians.
I can't hear anything. Hold on.
Oh, goodness.
Audio. Where's the audio?
All right. Well, hopefully he can figure that out. We will continue with the show, but Kurt Price has joined us. Hopefully we will be hopefully he's figuring things out. Hopefully we'll be able to figure that out here soon. But welcome to Kurt. Glad he can join us.
He's like
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
You not
You're
have
like
it plugged
Brophy.
in?
You're drunk. Somebody throws you to the
No.
porch, you're going to piss all over yourself.
Right. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you have a couple beers after you've been doing shit and you haven't had a lot to drink in a while, and it hits you hard.
Yeah.
So,
Jason Miller, now the show begins. Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Fuck
sure
you, Jason. I thought we were friends.
I'm sure
Asshole.
I'm sure I'm joining a fantastic show already in progress.
Yes, we already talked about the Binnington rumors. Anything you'd like to add?
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much you summed up exactly what Bill and I said.
That, I mean, and I said on Twitter that this team in the past has ditched goalies sooner than they should have a number of times. And I think when they did lock him up after the cup run, I thought that was a good thing. Oh, they're finally committing to a goalie that's good. So I mean, I don't, and to abandon that would be, I think, wrong. Unless you get, I mean, again, everything all depends on the offer you're given, right? I mean, if you get blown away, trade anybody, right?
Right.
But a reasonable offer for Binnington, what's a fair offer? I'd say no.
I tell you what,
thank you.
I've seen people say, "What if?" And this is clearly a big what if. You do. What if you do end up making a deal that brings you back Leon Draisaitl? The only way that I say yes to that is you say that Doug Armstrong has to have it in writing, already talk to Draisaitl and his agent, because he's a free agent. So I'm not just going to get Draisaitl for this season and then boom, he's gone. There's got to be some kind of agreement that he will sign an 8-year extension here in St. Louis. That's the only way I make that trade.
Sure. Yeah, you got to have some kind of
Or if
long-term
it's a
commitment.
sign and trade or something.
You're not going to trade away your franchise goalie for a rental.
Mm-hmm.
A
For a
rental,
team that without a goalie isn't going anywhere.
Right. A rental for a team that, like, we're not like cup contenders right now. So we have no reason to acquire a rental. That makes no sense for us.
Yep.
So
agree.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys hit a home run with that because you're right thinking kind of guys.
We are.
Yep.
And Bill, I know you agree. We've talked about the terrible franchise goaltenders, how there's never really been a true franchise goaltender. Closest thing this team's had to it is Mike Liut. So I know you agree with that. You don't, let's not give up on a guy that could possibly, maybe at the end of his career here, bring us another cup.
Right. Yeah. Let's not Cujo him. And nice stag, Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt drinking stag tonight.
Yeah, that's my beer of the show. My late beer of the show for stag beer, originally from Belleville, Illinois.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. I'm just like, now they're like, that's brewed out of, where is it, Milwaukee, I think?
Who knows? It's probably on the label somewhere on there.
I mean, you're probably right. I can't read that.
Oh, my goodness.
I have contacts and I'm 49 years old.
You are old as
I
shit.
can't read that
is
small
true.
print. And this room is dark. There's weird lighting in the back. It's for visual on YouTube. I can't fucking read this small print. It could say it's made in Taiwan. I have no idea.
I would hope not. All right, let's move on. So we talked our show last week kind of ended on the Blues having a bad third period against the Colorado Avalanche. We wondered how they'd bounce back against the New Jersey Devils Friday night. Well, they bounced back with a win, beat the New Jersey Devils 4-1 to open the home trip, right, Kurt?
Yeah. The home trip. Yeah. Fuck you, Wyshynski, right?
Yeah, right. So in this game, one of our talking points against Colorado, looks like Bill Days, by the way, says Stag is brewed in Milwaukee. So you were correct.
Acquired by the Pabst Company.
Pabst used to be a long time ago. Now it's bought out by Pabst.
So in this game, well, again, one of our talking points last week was Tyler Tucker having a very rough period, or well, really game against Colorado, and we thought this dude needs some time to sit. Well, they did pull out Tyler Tucker, put in Robert Bortuzzo, and on that back pairing, that third pairing, it was Marco Scandella and Robert Bortuzzo. So again, so not surprisingly at this point, Pat Perunovich does not get the assignment to come into this game. I thought a quick team like New Jersey, I thought maybe there's a chance he makes his way in, but they went with the bigger, heavier Robert Bortuzzo, who got 9 minutes, 30 seconds of ice time. 49 seconds of that was while shorthanded. He was a +1 and had 1 hit on the night. So interesting move. Any thoughts on the Blues putting Bortuzzo in over Perunovich?
Stupid.
Yeah, agree. And I'll say I don't hate Bortuzzo. I just don't get why Perunovich is not getting a look.
Right. It just doesn't. It at this point, just trade him. Right. If you are not going to use him, if you're just going to put him in the press box and wait for injuries to come along before you'll give him a shot, trade him. He'll have value.
Do you know what I think they're maybe holding out hope for is that
he'll
Krug
grow
will have
and be 6'5", 270 like Berube wants.
Well, well maybe, but that Krug will have a nice season, which he's having a nice season so far. Krug
Don't say that. Don't say that. Torrey Krug is awful.
Oh, because
Torrey
he
Krug
has
is the worst.
He has 1 point now through the season.
Yeah. He should at least have 5 or 6 now. He's an offensive defenseman.
Fuck everybody with Krug. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
He has been good. He's been fine. Has been amazing? No, he's been good and much improved over last season.
We'll get to it, but I think he had a rough game against Winnipeg. Other than that,
I think a lot of people did. But
yes, and I think overall, yes, I think he has been better this year.
Right, and I'm speaking overall. I'm not talking individual games necessarily. But yeah, and you know, what I think they're hoping happens is that Krug has a good season and is a desirable trade chip come the deadline, and then maybe he would say, okay, I can go to this team and they're a cup contender. I might waive my no trade clause for that team if you can get a deal done. And maybe they will, and then they can move that contract and then bring in Perunovich to play a lot more minutes. Because playing Krug and Perunovich in the same lineup, while I'm all for it, I don't think they're going to do that.
Yes, Bill, you are a good man.
10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
You know what pisses me off is that at 9:59, I had my eye on the clock at 9:59. I was like, keep watching, but then I started talking, and boom, it just went out the window, left my mind.
You did beat last week's by like 45 minutes. So
yes, I did. No, I'm with you. I don't get it. I think at this point, hopefully he's at least fielding calls, right? Like at this point, I'm hoping he's at least like, okay, best offer. Hopefully I'll hear something, but you know, you got to trade him at this point because you're just Berube's not going to play him.
I hope not. I hope the scenario that I mentioned earlier comes to fruition. Because if I would rather see Krug moved and that salary moved to create some salary cap so we can work with the salary cap a little bit and to play Prunovich instead of Krug. I would rather, even though Krug's played a pretty good defensive game this season, and he's not shown offensive, his offensive side has not been there. I think Prunovich would bring more offensive abilities, but maybe not quite as much defensive. I don't give a shit at this point in the season. I'd rather see Prunovich playing, and if they're going to move somebody, and if they can move Krug at the deadline or near the deadline, I would say let's do that, and then plug Prunovich in to his spot. That's what I would do.
But Krug doesn't want to leave. That's the problem.
He the way he phrased it in the offseason when he was asked to waive his no trade clause, and it almost seemed like he was open to the opportunity to leave. Given the situation, maybe. I know he said he didn't want to leave then, but he talked about wanting to win and wanting to win a cup. So if this team at the deadline is nowhere near the playoffs, and I think if the team is going to be sellers, and I think maybe he would change his mind at that time. I know he didn't in the last offseason, but maybe he would change his mind in this coming offseason, in this coming trade deadline, if this team is out of it and a team wants him who is a legit cup contender.
Not a Philadelphia.
Yeah, not
no,
probably not Edmonton either.
No, no, I guess not.
No, I agree. I don't know. I don't think that's at this point. I'm not taking that as a possibility. Again, I look at these no trade clauses as you just got to work around them. You're going to have them on the lineup. They're going to be on the team until they're gone. So I'm not looking at it like that. I hope you're right, Kurt, but I'm just not as optimistic. I think at this point,
that's
Berubich is just going to sit as long as Berube's head coach.
Maybe.
So if you can get something for him, I'm okay with it.
Well, it depends what that something is. I think there have been a lot of defensemen in the NHL that have won fucking Norris trophies by having a shitty defensive game and an amazing offensive game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Carlson, Eric.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, to be recognized as a legit blue chip number one type quote defenseman, you don't have to play great defense. You just have to light it up offensively. You got to be great at one end or the other, right?
Look at Quinn Hughes, right?
Yeah,
the guy that he and Prunovich are very similar in stature, and I'm not saying Scott Prunovich is in the same league talent-wise as Quinn Hughes, but he has ability to play in this league. He has what it takes. He showed that he can run an NHL power play during that Colorado series. I mean, he was lights out. Our power play was lights out with him out there. And what is the biggest weakness on this team right now? It's the fucking power play. So do something to get him in there. If you have to go 7D, and bench Verana again, I don't like that idea, but get him in there. But Jesus, Tyler Tucker, sit a couple more.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that bothers me is I don't want him at 11-7. I want him playing full defensive minutes.
I agree.
Seeing what he can do.
I agree.
Why are we not even just giving him a chance at this point when this team, I mean, they're not bad, but they're not good. They're kind of in the middle. So why not see what this kid could do with full minutes playing defense?
And you're not going to find out. You're not going to find out what you have as a team if you don't don't give him a shot, right? We're in this, win one, lose one, win two, lose two kind of thing right now, right? So there's no consistency. So give everybody a shot.
That is consistent, though. It's consistently mediocre.
It's consistently inconsistent, right?
Right.
But they're not, it's not like they have anything to lose at this point, right? Keep trying different things, but the different things is, we'll play Tyler Tucker next to Torrey Krug this go out, right? Sit him for a few games. You've made Prunovich sit this much. Tucker can do that too, right? Force him in. Like if I'm Armstrong, right, I am telling Berube, get him in the lineup.
Yep.
But
I'm a peacock, Gene. You got to let me fly.
Jason Miller said that's reasonable, Kurt, but would they really have pretty much sit almost every game until the deadline? And I'm like,
apparently,
I can see them doing that. I hope they don't. I hope they would play him.
Well, and then you're
like
diminishing his trade value if you just sit him the whole time.
Well, I hope they don't trade him. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather them work towards trading Crew at the deadline and keep him pretty much long term. I hope that's their long term goal. Hopefully, they're hoping for what I'm thinking, and that they would. Okay, Krug will maybe waive his no trade clause at the deadline to go to a contender if we're not in it this season. You know, because he said in the offseason last season that he wanted to win a cup, right? So if he has that opportunity in front of him, maybe he'd waive it. Maybe.
You think somebody would take him at the trade deadline?
It depends on
contract.
It depends on the kind of year he has.
No way. No one's taking him at the deadline. It's going to be an off-season move.
It depends on the kind of. It depends on the kind of year he has. This season,
you got to give up a bunch of salary to take him on, though. Like a team that's battling for the cup, they're not making that big of a trade to move out another piece.
Well, it depends who it is. They might have a guy who is making a lot of money that they want to dump. I don't. I have no idea. A lot can happen between now and then, and a lot of teams would come and go between now and then. So this is all speculation, and this is all like wishful thinking. I get it, but and you're right, Jeff. It's a goofy situation where a lot of things have to fall in place for this to happen. But I think, the Blues tried it in the offseason, with moving him. So we'll see. I'm sure they'd be open to it at the deadline. So we'll see.
So talking about this game again, talking about the first game against the New Jersey Devils this year. Kevin Hayes was the story here for me. Game-winning goal and, of course, the empty net goal to seal it. It wasn't just the goal scoring, and maybe it was that first goal that he scored, the second goal of the game. I thought he looked pretty good in this game. I liked the way he was moving up in the play. He looked, first of all, his celly after he scored on that goal, that showed it all to me. You could tell he felt like he had a monkey on his back because, he did the whole two fists and knee in the air, super excited to score that goal. First of the season, and then again the empty net goal at the end. I thought he was skating well. He back checked well. He had some good PK time. Liked his passing. He looked like he was way more comfortable with his line mates in this game. Not just the goals. I liked Kevin Hayes' game overall. Best game of the season for him, clearly.
Yeah, I think. I think, and the contrast in this game for him compared to his play up to this point is dramatic, right? So it's easy to see how well he played in this game because he was really ineffective and just flat out bad up to this point. So it was a super fan, and he's played after the New Jersey game. I think he's stepped his play up. He's been better. This game, this New Jersey game was fantastic as he put up numbers. But he's been much better since this game too. So this is the guy that we wanted to see when we got him.
Yeah, the monkey off the back comment is completely accurate. He's not gripping his stick tight anymore. He's playing with confidence. I think going into this game, it looked like he wouldn't commit to plays down low. And there were a couple times when he would get on odd man rushes and then make weird cuts and not be in the right spot. And that seems to be gone from the game now, right? So getting that first goal, getting the monkey off his back really, really looks like it's got the guy going in the right direction. Hopefully, last night was just a team brain fart and they're able to right the ship quickly. But yeah, completely a different player than he had been going into that game.
So other goals in this game, Jake Neighbors scored the first goal of the game off a nice play, came in, beat the goaltender Was it Schmid? Schmid was
Yes.
in, right?
Yeah, Akira Schmid.
Yep, Schmid. Yeah, beat Schmid on a nice play. Robert Thomas tallied his second goal in as many games with just 9 seconds left in the game. Jordan Binnington, 33 saves on 34 shots. Early on in the season, we talked a lot about how it seemed like the Blues were just getting outshot a ton, which over time, again, we talked that it wasn't so much the shots against, it was the shots for that felt like the issue. Well, in this game, Blues outshoot the Devils, and they've been outshooting their opponents a lot more lately, 35-34. One big note for the NHL for this game, Jack Hughes, one of the top point getters, looking like a guy who was going to really have a great season. He was injured in the first period after he toe picked trying to get a rebound off Binnington's pad, crashed into the boards, and did not return, and is considered week to week with a UPL at this point.
Did you see the social media outrage from Devils fans?
Did you read the comment in the outline?
Claiming that I don't have the outline. I don't think you shared it with me.
He shared it last Friday.
I definitely did.
Okay, I'm doing this all like just my common knowledge.
There you go, buddy.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. But so before I even pull it up, I'm going to say this: that yeah, they were blaming Binnington for this for tripping him. Which if you look on replay, nowhere near. He comes nowhere near tripping him. So just, I mean, do people even? This is why I don't understand. This is what bugs the shit out of me with replays. Even like professional color analysts, they'll look at a fucking video replay and just see it completely wrong. I think I saw the replay. It was Ken Danico, right? The color guy for New Jersey. He fucking said that Binnington tripped him. Basically, I'm like, what the fuck? This is not true at all. Nowhere close to tripping him. And he says, "Oh yeah, Binnington got it." No, he didn't do anything like that. And that's probably what fueled part of that.
Exactly. The color guy on the TV,
Ken Danico was terrible. He's awful.
Whenever I would turn on NHL Network when he was in studio, I immediately find something else to watch.
He's all over NHL media too, which is shocking because he is not good.
Every time I listen to him, he's awful. He's so bad. So bad.
I don't get it.
Whenever it comes to the Devils, he's I mean, can't blame him. He's a New Jersey lifer, right?
Oh,
but he's
there's being a homer,
totally,
and then there's just being
biased,
awful.
Right?
Like seeing things that aren't there. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And he's one of those guys that, well, back in my day, like, okay, that's a lot different from how the game is now, bro.
Fuck him.
Yep.
Yeah, back in your day, you got awarded Scott Stevens, and he made you better.
Yeah, right.
Zing.
No, there was somebody, I think it was on Sportsnet's post of the injury, some guy just going off, and even like other NHL fans are like, dude, watch the play. That is clearly not what happened. Like, people were even commenting like, I hate Jordan Binnington. He didn't do anything wrong here. He was just stretching out to make the save and cover the net.
He was
he stuck his leg out to trip him. He didn't even touch him. The dude toe-picked.
Hughes was going for a rebound. He was like adjusting. He altered his stride to try and get a rebound, and that's when he fell. He toe picked, and Binnington is adjusting for the attempt at the rebound. That's all he was doing. He didn't fucking touch Hughes. So fucking people are just fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Yep, agree. Well, let's pull out another movie quote here, guys.
Nice. Let's go.
With a win yesterday and a win today, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before. That is the Blues Saturday night beating the Montreal Canadiens 6-3. Bill Day's second favorite team, the Montreal
Were you there, Bill?
Canadiens.
Was not.
Oh,
no, we had family obligations this year.
When's the last time that Montreal was in town where you didn't go?
Last year.
Okay.
That was not as exciting as you thought it would be.
No, not at all. I thought I used to go all the time.
Yeah. So prior to that, when fans were, I think the last time they came to town was that the game Jake Allen gave up the worst goal of his career with a little wrist shot from outside the blue line.
That's saying
early.
something.
Yeah. And Montreal's like, wow, we got to get us some Jake Allen. And so it's been several years actually since I've been, but yeah, it used to be, I would go, right. We've laughed about the ugly Ronaldo statue, which happened at a Montreal game because I was wearing a Habs jersey, right. It's been several years since I've gone to see. I think it's been one game since we actually saw them in Montreal, so it's not been as frequent lately. So
well,
neither team has given me that much to really want to be there.
Yeah, they went to the Stanley Cup final recently.
Yeah, and that was awesome, right?
That was fun
during the pandemic. Yeah,
that was fun. Going to Center Ice Brewery, all three of us. That was
I think
watching game seven against
game 6.
Toronto.
It was game 6.
Yeah,
was it 6?
I don't think we saw the series clincher.
We saw the clincher.
Yeah, it was Kotkaniemi in overtime.
Clinched in overtime. Yeah,
sure. Because that Maple Leafs fan was there, and I thought she said, "We'll get you next game."
Did she?
No, that was the clincher.
I'm pretty sure that was.
Maybe
the
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That was the clincher.
Yeah.
All right.
That was awesome.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure that was also our last time at Center Ice Brewery.
Oh, is that right?
I went for the closing night
as a group.
Oh, the three of us. Yeah, probably right. I don't know where this came from, but I'll take it. Captain Insano showed no mercy. Thank you, Matt.
He was asking. I think he was responding to you saying another movie quote, please.
Oh, okay, that'll work.
Where the fuck are you, Austin?
Look at this.
Witness protection.
He has now been demoted, folks. He is now listener Austin.
Listener Austin.
In the chat. Hey, look at that. He says, listening from work, miss talking with you guys. Yeah, we miss having a fucking producer.
Yeah, this show has like gone downhill completely.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, look, we're even trying new things. We got me hosting. What is happening here?
We're doing stuff ourselves. It's a pain in the ass.
It is.
And we're missing the have you seen your children by like 45 minutes? It's awful.
Well, you are.
I am.
I missed it by 3.
Right, you missed it by 3, but still.
Because of me.
Right.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
Who knows?
Why don't you help Kurt out, Bill? What kind of dick are you?
Yeah, I know, right?
I made it a point after
nobody told me
after Kurt's big gaffe last week. I'm like, we can't do that again.
Loud noises.
You guys, it's on you guys too. Nobody said, where are your children? No. All right. 45 minutes.
Hey, Google, set a reminder every Wednesday at 10 o'clock to tell Kurt it's 10 o'clock.
Is that going to work?
Sure. I'll remind you every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
You changed
it. Not at 10 a.m.
Put that off.
You're not even there.
Put that off.
You changed your voice to a male voice on your Google voice. Google
That's
Home?
hot.
Yeah.
That's kind of hot. I like it.
All right. So you want a butler?
I want a butler.
Oh,
Damn straight.
All right. Mine's still on the female voice. You can change it to British. I had it for British for a while. That was pretty cool.
Mine is like Australian. I think it's Australian.
Put
and
another strip on the Barbie.
Her name is Friday, so it's like no. I'm sorry, she's Scottish. Her name is Friday,
because it's not Scottish. It's
Iron
crap.
Man. Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, let's move on.
Right.
Wow. So again, lineup changes. This is back-to-back nights. Saturday against Montreal. Lineup changes. Robert Bortuzzo comes back out, and Scott No. Scott Perunovich does not come in. The worst defenseman on this team, in my opinion, except maybe Scandella this season so far, Tyler Tucker.
And he's with
works his
Scandella
way back in.
on the third.
And he's
pair.
with Scandella. And I have no ill will towards Tyler Tucker. I just don't understand what he has done to earn being an everyday defenseman at this point. He needs more seasoning. Stop putting him in. Let Perunovich have his chance. Good Lord.
Hasn't it been said
thing
before?
we have to a number one left-handed D, right?
That's what I've been told.
Hasn't it been said before that this is not a learning league? This is the NHL where you're not supposed to. The AHL is where you're supposed to learn, right? To play. So
Everyone except Tyler Tucker.
I don't understand. I mean, are they that desperate for size that they'll sacrifice all kinds of other stuff?
Robert Bortuzzo.
I know. And I agree with you, but I'm like, but that's the only reason they're playing Tucker is for size. That's
Makes
it.
no sense.
I mean, he's not good defensively. He's been exposed.
Give Scott Perunovich the opportunity you've given Tucker and see if see what he doesn't do. Like, you have to love the story. Tyler Tucker, right? 7th round draft pick makes it.
Yeah.
Right. Scott Perunovich, 2nd round draft pick, much more, talent all around. Give him those opportunities. Do it.
What does Tucker bring to this team besides size over Perunovich? You tell me.
Like I said last week, he was our leading scorer after one game.
He is a bag of nails in front of the net, which I do like.
I do too. I like that aspect, but when you're getting walked and you're a liability defensively elsewhere in your own zone, I don't give a shit if you're punishing in front of the net. If you're a liability defensively elsewhere in your own zone, what are we doing? Perunovich can be a liability defensively in our own zone and put up points in the offensive zone. So, I mean, if we're going to have a liability on defense, give me the guy that can produce offensively.
Yep.
As well.
I'll say I think Tucker made a nice play on a goal. I think it was in this game. It was on Shen. It was on Shen's goal. No, it wasn't Shen. Who was it? I don't remember. It's in there somewhere. It's in my notes. But he did make a nice play that led to a goal. But I mean, outside of that, he doesn't have the offensive upside, which is fine. You don't need that.
No.
But if you're getting, and I said, it's funny because I re-listened to part of the show last week. I think I heard myself say this exact phrase like 5 times. When you're getting walked to the outside, you do not belong on NHL ice. And that happened consistently to Tucker in the first 8 games of the season.
Yeah.
Yet he continues. And again, I hate to feel so like I'm bullying Tucker here because I do, like Bill said, I love his story and I hope he becomes a full-time NHL player. But right now he's just not it. And you've got a guy in Scott Perunovich who's ready for that next jump, but he's not getting his opportunities.
So if he were on the show right now, Tyler Tucker, what would you say to him?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show, Tyler Tucker.
Friend of the show, Tyler
Friend of the show, Tyler Tucker.
Hey, we have an opening as a producer. Interested?
Yeah. You probably do a lot better there than in the Blues defense. Boom. That's what I'd say.
Can you get walked wide as a producer?
Oh, goodness.
Man. He is
Sorry,
never
Tyler.
going to come on this show. Ever.
No, he will not. Sorry, Tyler. We love you. Kind of. So in this game,
you're a Blues player. That's fine.
I thought, and we don't have to go through goal by goal here, but I did like the Blues opening scoring play with 1:24 into the first period. Jordan Kyrou received a nice pass from Braden Shen. We kind of dogged Braden Shen a little bit in previous episodes for this season in his play, but thought that was a really nice play and found Kyrou on the back door, reminiscent of any goal scored on the Blues last season.
It was Shen had the breakaway and then nobody bothered taking him out in the corner and he was able to stick it and wait until Kyrou busted down the wing and bad defensive cover by Montreal on that play.
Yep. So the Habs scored on the power play, which is a trend I think that we'll talk about plenty here in the next couple games.
I don't care about giving up goals in the power play on the PK, as long as you're scoring on the power play. But the Blues aren't doing that. So
no, they're not. So that was Slafkovsky scores, and then the Blues scored again. Robert Thomas scored after a nice break-in and cut move to the blue line to work his way into the slot and fire a wrister from the top of the circle that hits Montembeau's glove and goes just under the crossbar. That is Thomas's 3rd consecutive goal in as many games, which is awesome. So, one of them was an empty netter, but still good to see. If you guys remember early in his career when, we were doing a show early in Robert Thomas's career because we've been on forever. Something we kind of complained about was we're like, man, his wrist shot is it looks weak. It's flimsy. It's not very good, but I feel like the last, I'd say 2.5 years, his wrist shot has become very elite. Like it's well placed. It doesn't flutter, and he usually finds its way through traffic. I think he's done a great job working on that shot.
Well, speaking from guys who are past first players, we do have the ability to snipe.
Oh, don't say we. Don't you say we.
You've only played with me in a few tournaments. Bill, no. I'm
Are you comparing yourself to Robert Thomas right now?
I'm a pass first guy. I modeled my game after Adam Oates. So
I was going to say, give him 3 lines and Adam Oates is coming out here.
So, he's a pass first guy. And I was always happy to dish it off and looking for the pass. And I'm just saying that given the opportunity, I could snipe it. And every single fantastic passer in the NHL has the ability to snipe that puck. Guarantee you.
Well, maybe not Craig Canny, but yeah, he could
never did it, but he could. He never tried. I would pass on a breakaway.
Right. He actually had really good breakaway moves and just would not put himself in position to get breakaways. So
crappy goalie in the Facebook chat says Kurt will demand a new contract soon. Yeah, following after his hero Adam Oates.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I want to renegotiate. Yeah, yep. because my contract is no longer comparable to the top passers in the NHL.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. No, Rob Tom has the last 3 games. He's done that, cuts in the middle and go top shelf, right? And just very, very just strong play in the slot. The only player on the Blues right now who is getting to the middle consistently. And that shot is, he's the guy that if you said, let's tear it down, the one guy you keep at this point. He has everything in his game, although, still working on the defensive end a little bit. But
I don't. Ken Morris says, Kurt, ever have Jeff on your wing to dish off to? Jeff is a defenseman.
Yeah. I don't play a lot of wing. I don't think you and I think, we played the one tournament together. I don't even know if we were on the same line.
No, I don't think. Well, you were the captain. You didn't put me on your line. You did. I appreciate it. You did put me in the shootout, and I came through. Thank you very much.
Did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good on you.
Yep. It was a nice fake slap shot in the shootout that actually worked.
And move I have never ever done in my life. And it worked.
You got him to bite. That's all that matters.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works.
So that Thomas goal put the Blues up 2-1. Second period, Blues go back up 3-1. Brandon Saad gives the Blues some relief after a nice play from Tucker. Sees the puck under center. Shen sealed off the wall, and then him and Kyrou go on a 2-on-1, and Saad settles it and shoots to beat the goalie high over the glove. Just a nice play, nice breakout play by the Blues. And again, Braden Shen stepping up here and making some nice plays. So in the last 2 games, I think Braden Shen has really stepped up his game. And again, earlier, Ken Morris made a comment that maybe Kevin Hayes listened to me bitching about him last week. That's why he had a big game. Maybe Braden Shen heard us talk about him last week.
I think Shen's the kind of player that I mean, he was non-existent, right? And just wasn't doing anything on the ice. He was invisible for the most part, most of the season. So I mean, he's not going to maintain that. I think his probably his prime years behind him, but he's going to be better than he was to start the season with the Blues. I think that was probably as bad as he can probably play at this point in his career. So this was probably expected from him to step it up a little bit. He was due.
Yep. So the Habs go. We'll cut the lead to 3-2 at 14:48 of the second. Gallagher scores after a dumping goes wrong. Yeah. Parayko slides it to Leddy behind the net. Leddy's pinched off by Monahan, who finds an all-alone Gallagher to the left of the slot, who fires it past Hofer with Pearson screening in front. So, yeah, that was Gallagher all alone. I thought it was actually – I wanted to get mad at Leddy honestly, on this play. But I thought Monahan just made a really nice play on him, pitched him off, didn't let him get the puck up through the up the boards, and just made a nice play to find Gallagher. And at that point, it's such a quick turnover, and Gallagher's all alone. And like I said, Letty's behind the net, Parayko's still back there. Hard to pick it up. I thought just a nice play by the Habs. Bill, you're a fan of both teams. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, no, Sean Monahan is having a resurgent year, right? So many injury problems with Calgary, and then when he got to Montreal last year, he has been one of the big bright stories for the Canadiens in their early season success. I didn't think it was a coincidence that it was the pair of Parayko and Letty that were both behind the net, and but in this instance, the offense completely let down with coverage in front of the net. You want defensemen covering down low, right? And they're gonna try to get the guy behind the net. And like you said, Monahan made a great play, picking off, cutting off the boards and making a play to Gallagher. Forward should have been there.
Yep.
It was a great pass by Monahan. Great vision.
Forwards were going north at this point. I think they really thought Parayko back to Letty up the boards. Let's have a breakout. Maybe we'll get a 3-on-2.
That's why we got him.
Happen.
Right. Letty. Yeah. Transition. Yep. So.
But he skates, not passes.
That's true.
Yeah.
So in the third period, Blues go up 4-2 at 2:50. Alexei Toropchenko scores shorthanded off a nice play by Buchnevich, knocking Justin Barron off the puck, sends Toropchenko on a breakaway, and he beats Montembeault over the blocker. Just a nice play. Overall shorthanded, second shorthanded goal so far for the Blues this season.
Yeah, I think I've been watching a little too much soccer lately because I completely expected him to call the goal back. VAR intervening because of a trip at the blue line. Because, yeah, I totally thought that was going to happen. Buchnevich, I thought for sure there was going to be an interference call there. But Toropchenko made no mistake. Montembeault gave him the blocker side, so he took it. Beautiful shot.
My favorite goal of the season so far. I'm going to say right now, this goal coming up here, 5-2 Blues. Braden Shen scores after every one of the Blues, every one of the Blues that were on the ice touched the puck. Shen won the faceoff in the neutral zone and went D to D. Then over to Jordan Kyrou, who cuts to the middle after a middle lane drive from Saad. Finds him cutting in from the wing. He slides it to Shen, who's cutting in from the left wing, and he one-times it past Montembeault over the outstretched stick. I thought this was just a beautiful, again, we always say that whenever I'm playing, whenever like everyone on the puck or on the ice touches the puck, we're all like, holy shit, we all contributed to that goal. It's such a beautiful thing to see. So when the Blues were able to do this, and it wasn't a breakout, it was from the neutral zone, a face-off neutral zone, and they all touched the puck in a short span. I thought that was just beautiful teamwork and goes to show that this team has really worked on their break-ins into the zone.
It was a fantastic play by Kyrou to find Shen on this play. And I think Kyrou has gotten such a shit ton of crap on social media. And this is a fantastic, unwarranted mostly, right? I mean, he's going to, people want him traded. I mean, come on, settle down, guys. Calm down. Jesus Christ. The bipolar game by game ridiculousness is just insane.
Coming from the guy that wanted him benched last year.
Well,
I said this last week. I love his play. I think he's working on his full 200-foot game. I think he's looked fine. He's not putting up the points, but guess what? I want him putting up those points when the Blues are challenging for playoffs. I don't think they're going to do that this year. So work on your game. See what you can do defensively. Work on your forecheck. And I think that's what he's doing. And I love it. I think he looks fine.
Yeah, and wanting him to be benched, which we disagreed on that last season, on that, but wanting him to be benched versus wanting him to be traded are two vastly different ideas, right?
True.
So, I mean, but there are people who will always be that way, vocal on social media. It's always been that way. They want the best players traded. That when Hull and Pronger were here, they wanted a Hull traded. They wanted Pronger traded. It's the same fucking people that just. I don't know. I don't understand the mentality there. Pronger takes a penalty. They want him traded. A bad penalty, right? In the game he was known for early in his career. They wanted him traded. They wanted a Hull traded. You can't win a cup with Hull. They wanted him traded.
I remember Pavel Dimitra had 2 years left on his contract, and people saying they got to trade him. They're not going to re-sign him, and this is the best he's ever looked. They need to trade him now. And I'm like, why don't we try and go win a championship with this team? Why not?
I don't understand the mindset of some people who are always wanting to build for the future, right? Trade this guy now, we'll get draft picks. Trade this guy, we'll get draft picks. If the team were run based on how they wanted it to be run, we'd be rebuilding for 30 years. And we'd never get anywhere. It's always trade the guy that is the next great white hope, right, for this team. Is that racist? And then just I don't know where that quote comes from. It might be racist. I have no idea. I'm sorry if it is, but I just know it's a quote. But the Great White Hope
wasn't that a Woody Harrelson movie?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I think it's also a lyric from a Bloodhound Gang song.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I think it was around before that though. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They want the next greatest thing, if they're struggling at the time, to be traded away. It's just like, what is going on? I don't understand that mindset so much of people to just like just move everything that is like the future of this organization for whatever, because we're building for the future. It's like they never want to win now. They always want to win like 6 years from now.
Puck Guy 14, our friend from Teal Town, USA. We love you and congratulations on the Sharks getting their first win.
Yay! Way to stick it to Philly, huh?
Blues rebuild for 30 years? No, you said Sharks wrong. LMAO.
You know
Puck
what?
Guy 14. Man, I watched that game last night.
I did too.
I was rooting Sharks. Man, I'm like, come on. They were holding on.
what?
They were up 2-0. Then that goal on Blackwood, the one that was on his pad, would have went in the net. I'm like, oh, that is just the Sharks' luck right now.
Do you know what I was rooting for? And I mean this with all love and respect to the Teal Town USA podcast and Puck Guy, is that I was rooting for Philly to tie it, and then I was rooting for San Jose to win it in overtime, to be that, because I wanted an exciting finish for San Jose. Granted, I like comeback late goals to tie. And then overtime, I enjoy that aspect. But
the one positive I'll say, Puck Guy 14, you guys get to watch Eklund this year. Dude, that kid has got a shot. That power play goal he scored last night, woo! That kid can shoot the puck. So that'll be fun to watch. Hopefully he continues his progression. All right, moving on.
Is Eklund, you say? Is that
the Eklund.
E11?
I was going to say E11. I asked Puck Guy if Shark fans are the same as Blues fans, in that there's a substantial number of people, a vocal minority probably, on social media that always want the latest, greatest, if they're struggling, to be traded away to build for the future every single year, because it's been the case ever since social media has been a thing, and we've been online with the letsgoblues.com forums and whatever, Reddit, Facebook, whatever shit show is out there. You got people just wanting to trade away everything for the future, always, every year for the future.
So back to this game, Blues go up 6-2. Kapanen scores in the empty net for second goal of the season. The Habs were not done yet. They got a goal late in this game as Nick Suzuki scored after some strong pressure from the Habs. Suzuki deflected in Cole Caulfield's point shot to make the game appear a little bit closer. So this game ends 6-3. Blues. Shots on goal again. Blues outshoot the Canadiens 35-33. Two strong performances back-to-back against two teams who've been playing Montreal's been falling off a little bit, as we all expected they might. But New Jersey, clearly, yes, they've got injuries to Heischer and Hughes now, but still a strong team, a cup contending team. Blues played them well, played the Habs well. Although in this game, no power plays for the Blues, no penalties for Montreal. They went 3 for 4 on the PK. So a little bit better than what we've seen, but still did give up the one power play goal. So this next game, last night's game, the Jets down the Blues at home 5-2. So same lineup as against Montreal, which I found interesting. Maybe not so much, and maybe I'm just looking for reasons to bitch, but it's like you made a change, which I appreciated. They did at least make one change and get somebody in there with some fresh legs against Montreal. But I thought, man, why not go back to the lineup against New Jersey? They played really well against them too, but no lineup changes. Robert Bortuzzo stays out. Tyler Tucker stays in with Marco Scandella on that Scandella on the bottom pairing. So in this game, to kick it off, Mark Scheifele scores pretty quick on the power play. Jets worked it around, and Iafallo, who I thought had a great game. Scheifele, too. That whole line was great. Finds Scheifele on the back door. The Blues PK left a low slot wide open. On this game, I know we kind of look at or on this goal, we kind of look at, okay, who was out of position? I thought this was just a situation where the PK needed to shift. There had to be somebody covering here, and then they moved the puck to the quarter. Okay, Thomas shift down, cover the guy in front of the net, while Letty had moved up a little bit on one of the point men. I just thought this was bad communication by the Blues. They left that front of the crease wide open for any pass. Again, something we saw a lot last year, where that pass just got right through the crease and no chance for Binnington as the puck goes right in front of him, and Scheifele scores and just taps in that backdoor chance. Just a bad PK formation, I thought, by the Blues on the ice. Thomas, Buchnevich, Parayko, and Letty just did not look good on that play.
Yeah, Letty slid out to and was at the hash marks on the boards trying to cut the pass down to Iafallo, and it got through. Parayko, just was where he should have been. Thomas was getting there, but he was making an adjustment. And Scheifele was standing there all alone, standing still for a few seconds. So there was definitely a breakdown. Bad rotation by the Blues there.
I agree with you. I've just pulled up the screenshot and I paused right before the pass was made. Parayko is in perfect position. Perfect. Right, he's taken away the pass to the guy breaking from the right faceoff dot, and he is and Thomas is supposed to have backdoor, but Thomas doesn't quite have it. Even though his stick was in the lane, he missed the pass. It's deflected away. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly why Thomas wasn't deeper against on Scheifele. Because there's nobody else to cover in the slot or on the left point. There's no one there. So why not go to Scheifele? There's no one else to cover. So, he has a stick in the lane and he doesn't deflect it. And it obviously it's a slams it home under Binnington's pad, right? Who comes across. And I thought, man, if your pad's down, it's a nice save. You got to have your pad on the ice. I don't know. A few things in this play kind of pissed me off. I thought Binnington played a little bit. It would have been a great save. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, pad's got to be on the ice, right?
Yep.
So
he was not sealed.
Nope.
I've seen that a few times this season from both Blues goalies, where they're moving in, the seal comes unsealed.
Yeah. Thomas and Binnington, can share the blame on this goal.
So the Jets score again, 16-15 in the first period. Blues misplay the puck in their own zone as Kyrou stepped up along the boards again by Alex Iafallo, and the Jets go to work. Scheifele finds Pionk breaking in. He beats Binnington high blocker at the top of the corner. I I got to say, like, and yes, the Blues, I think Kyrou made a mistake here, should have pinched the puck out, gotten rid of it quicker, get it to center, either let him come back in or whatever. But at that point, you just got to think about getting the puck out of the zone. But man, this shot from Pionk, I thought that was a beautifully placed shot. It was one of those that it rung the very top corner so tight on that net, because that's right where the net gets real tight right there. It just bounced right back out because he just hit that perfectly.
This is interesting to me because I agree with you, is a fantastically placed shot. However, it's from the faceoff dot.
Yeah.
So, Bill.
Bennington's out of position.
He should have had this, right?
He should have
even though it was a fantastically placed shot from that spot on the ice, probably should have had it, right?
Yeah, no, he and Jamie Rivers astutely pointed out that Bennington was too far over. He slid too far off, by 2 inches, right? And you slide, half an inch out of position against an NHL player, they'll probably hit it 9 times out of 10. And Pionk had a perfect shot, absolutely perfect shot. Bennington could have made it look better, I think, but I still think that puck's going to go in, even though Bennington wasn't perfectly positioned.
So,
I bitched about Kyrou, not weak play on the boards, not chipping it out.
Yeah, to me, it was like he got the puck, and I think he was thinking offense, and he was thinking, okay, I need to turn, spin, fire it to somebody. But at that point, when you're getting pinched on the boards, I think it just absolutely needs to be, let's get out of here. Let's get the puck out. If they turn around and bring it right back into the zone, fine. But, at that point, I think you just need to look at it like we got to just reset. Like, if they shoot it back in, they bring it back in, we'll get them then. Right now, puck out, let's reset. Maybe we can even get our other winger to change, either the other defenseman. Just not a good play by Kyrou.
No.
So Blues go up, the Blues cut the lead to 2-1 at 16:55 of the first. Robert Thomas scores his 4th goal in as many games just 40 seconds later as Kapanen, Parayko, and Thomas put on some nice work in keeping the puck in. There was the Jets were doing everything they could to get the puck out of the zone, but the Blues were just relentless on chasing that puck down, keeping it in the zone. Kapanen tied up 2 Jets and allowed Thomas to find the loose puck. He had his back facing the net when he found it, turned around, spun, shot, and fired it past Hellebuyck. Just a very nice, quick release from Thomas. I don't think Hellebuyck was expecting it. And I just thought, again, like we've talked before about how the Blues, they'd score a goal and then they'd give up a goal. And it's just, God, come on, where's the momentum? They actually turned it around on the Winnipeg Jets this time. They capitalized very quickly right after the Jets scored, which, again, 40 seconds, very nice. You don't want to go down. You can't give up the next goal at this point. You had to be the next team to score the goal.
Yeah, and, like you said, they were so good in pressing the Jets and keeping the coverage. Both Kapanen and Thomas were super strong on their sticks and caused that turnover. The fact that that Kapanen was able to take the 2 Jets off the puck, and Thomas having the wherewithal to cut, make that quick stop, grab the puck, cut back to the middle, and again, strong wrist shot that, those pass first guys always have, buries it blocker side.
Yeah.
Attacked the net, right? He attacked the net. He
did.
He corralled the puck, curled, and attacked the net and fired. And he picked a spot. Fantastic goal.
So, unfortunately, at 4:34 of the same period, Kyle Connor, who's a Blues killer, scores on the power play, which, tell me if you've heard this one before. After some nice passing along the perimeter by the Jets, Connor takes a one-timer from the top of the left circle, and the Blues were, I thought, actually, before this goal, they kept them, as I said, they were making some nice plays in the perimeter, but I thought the Blues were keeping them to the outside, and I was even thinking, like, this looks good. Let's keep this PK going, guys. But, unfortunately, Connor just takes a one-timer, and it deflects off Nicoletti right off his stick, goes past Binnington, and that is a 3-1 lead for the Jets.
This is part of the. I think there was a movement on social media how the Jets were puck lucky a number of times in this game, and this was one of them. It's one of those things where it's like, it happens in NHL. Shot deflects off the stick, off the post and in. Just unfortunate for the Blues, just like it was when Winnipeg slides in front of 2 shots to take away 2 goals. On open nets. Right, that the Blues had just fantastic plays defensively, but just bad luck for the Blues and puck luck for the Jets. The puck hit the defenseman sliding across. So Blues could have had a couple more goals, and this goal goes off a stick and off the post and in. It's just bad luck. I hate Connor. I can't stand Connor. The fucker. He's got a look about him that just makes me want to fucking punch him in the face. If I were playing on the Blues in this game, I'd have gotten 10 minutes misconduct for doing something to him. I'm sure of it. I can't stand that fucker.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Joe Dirt thing about him, right?
There is. It is. That's a very good analogy. Joe Dirt.
It's so the two movie references that popped in my head were Joe Dirt and then William H. Macy's character in Boogie Nights. Right, put those two together, and you've got Kyle Connor.
Speaking of which, William H. Macy is playing Jack Buck in a new movie coming up.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
That's going to be great.
Heard that on KMOX the other morning. Yeah.
Oh, man. He's going to be great at that. That's great. Yep. So Kyle Connor, 22 games against St. Louis Blues. I don't know if we mentioned this last week or not. We might have. He now has 12 goals, 17 assists, and 29 points in 22 games against the St. Louis Blues. He has actually put up very similar numbers. Actually, I'm sorry, the exact same numbers against the Vancouver Canucks, 22 games, 12 goals, 29 points. Those are the 2 teams he scored the most points against. So I guess Vancouver Canucks fans can relent over how bad he treats their team, because he's treating our team the same.
You can't let a guy that looks like Connor score against you as much as he does. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that's the goal off Letty's stick was just puck luck is the best way to describe that, right? Binnington's got that, and it flutters, changes speed enough, and then right off the post.
Well, like I said earlier, man, I wanted to be mad at Letty for this. But that's just one of those plays. Right? He's just trying to get his stick in the lane, and it just happens to his stick's on the ice. It's not like it was up trying to block it. His stick's just on the ice like it should be, trying to block a passing lane. Goes off him, goes in the net. Just an unfortunate play. I still think Nick Leddy has played awful this season, but I don't blame him one bit for this goal.
Right. He's also
it's part of the game.
Right. There's been a lot of bad stuff happening around him, but he was definitely, you notice when he's out there and the other team scores, right? It's just
I'm not going to say that Winnipeg won this game because of puck luck, but I'm not going to say they didn't either. They outplayed the Blues when it mattered in this game as the game went on, but they did get a ridiculous amount of puck luck in this game. Blues deserve better than the first period, I thought, than what they've fared. So I thought that sucked.
Yeah,
and Winnipeg got the bounces later.
Wasn't the penalty on Saad that led to the opening goal pretty weak? Right.
I'm trying to remember the penalty. I can't remember it.
I can't remember it either.
I was only half paying attention, and it sounded like that was the take from the broadcaster.
Let's say yes. It was a bad ball.
But yeah, it's to me, and getting to the fourth goal for Winnipeg, right? That was, to me, that was Jordan Binnington abandoning trust.
Before we get there. I do want to say, I thought after this goal, I thought the Blues really turned on their play. I thought, and I agree with you, Kurt. I think they had a good first period too. But after this goal, I thought they are going to tie it this period. They're going to score 2 goals, and they damn well should have. With the one, I think it was Sundqvist had it in front, wide open net, goes to shoot it in, And was it? Oh my goodness, was DeMello, wasn't it?
DeMello got one of them.
That was in the first period. DeMello made a save in the first period where he slid across and like made like a goalie sliding across save. And then the second one, it was along the ice. Maybe it was Sundqvist on the second one. I can't remember. But DeMello was there too, but it was a forward. I can't remember exactly who it was that went down on all fours and blocked it in the crease for Hellebuck, and then they cleared it out. And I thought, one of those goes in. This is a completely different game, especially going into the third period. So Winnipeg played very good defensive hockey in front of their goaltender.
The first 7.5 minutes of this game were completely fucking dominated by the Blues. The Blues were in. I mean, it was unreal how much pressure the Blues had, how much offensive zone time the Blues had, and them not scoring in that. I mean, so you could. So, I mean, I complain about puck luck for Winnipeg, which is a true thing, but also the Blues didn't capitalize on their early amazing pressure they had and offensive zone time they had against Winnipeg. The first 7 minutes of the game, they owned the fucking game.
Isn't that the same story as the last time they played Winnipeg last week? When Kyrou had the 2 breakaways early, and it was like, if they score on one of those, this is a different game. And it's the same thing here. They could not
fucking another breakaway
early
in this game. Yep. And he fucking lost the handle on the
that was
thing.
Awful.
I think the puck really bounced Winnipeg's way this game. I'm not saying that's what won the game for them, but it really helped them. Because they played well later as the game went on. But my God, when the Blues were buzzing, they were so lucky as far as the puck not ending up in their own net. It was ridiculous.
So Bill alluded to third period, and this one was the backbreaker. Just a minute 2 in. Jets open the period, coming hard, and the puck goes behind the net. Binnington goes to play it with Falk and Scheifele tied up behind the net. Puck goes off Scheifele, who sends it back in front to Kyle Connor, who has a wide open net as Binnington was still trying to get back to his crease. He made a play earlier in this period. Early in the game in the second period. Might have been against Kyle Connor, where he really mishandled the puck, threw it behind the net. Yeah. Luckily, the Blues recovered and kept it out of the net. But, Jordan Binnington, known for going behind the net, playing the puck a lot, normally not an issue. Definitely struggled in this game. And, this goal here, that was really bad. I thought when he left the crease I even said, what are you doing, Jordan? Like, the play was all around him. I'm like, stay in the crease. Let your defense handle that one. That was, and Bill, you alluded to it. I think it was him not trusting his defense, who was having a really bad puck handling game.
Right. I think after the Pionk goal followed by, Connor's goal off Letty's stick, he's like, fuck it, I got to get this puck out myself. Right. And misses it and then does a terrible job getting back in front. He pauses as he's, instead of if I'm that guy that misses the puck behind the net, when I come back in front, I'm throwing myself at the far post to try to cut off as much net as possible. And it's like he just paused and tried to throw the glove out. And
it was kind of casual. I was curious about that. Maybe he thought the goal was going to come a lot quicker than it did, and he kind of gave up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this was the first time I've seen him just be like, fuck it this year.
Well, what does Steve Dangle say? Famous Maple Leafs fan. If you're gonna tend the goal, if you're gonna play goalie, if you're gonna play goaltender should tend the goal, right?
Yeah. So
he I'm sure that will end up on his highlight reel of gaffes by goalies.
Oh yeah, 100%. So Blues do score to make it 4-2 at 8:08. Braden Shen, who we mentioned a couple times, this had a good week, honestly, even though this game didn't go well for the Blues. He carries it in from his own zone, makes a beeline to the net. Kyrou drove the net, and Shen just shoots it to the net, and Hellebuck sees it go under his arm and over his pad. I thought Jamie Rivers actually had a nice analysis of this goal. Basically, I think Hellebuck was looking, saying he's going to go to the goal scorer Kyrou here, even though Kyrou was tied up. Shen just looked up and said, I got a free shot to the net. I'm just going to take it. We're down 4-2. Why the hell not? And puts it there. And again, the old adage,
soft goal.
Put it on net.
Yeah.
For him.
Super soft goal though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely
One
not going to be.
should have had.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to be on his submission for Vezina this year, right? That was just god awful, right? And to think, the Blues had so many opportunities early on in the game, and he was pretty decent then, and if he's that soft, totally different game, and yeah.
They call that the new 5-hole there, right? That spot below the blocker and above the pad.
Yep.
It's a spot players aim for. And
I know I do.
In my day, when I played, that wasn't a spot I aimed for. I was a 5-hole or upper glove. That was the upper blocker.
I tell you what.
I
play roller on Sundays. Well, not right now because I'm injured, but typically I play roller on Sundays, and that is a spot in roller hockey that I love to shoot at because it's hard for the goalie to stretch the leg out in time and get the blocker over. So it's a perfect spot to shoot in roller hockey.
But when I played, that wasn't a spot that I looked at. It was I would pass off pad for guys, on right wing and bad angle. I'd pass off pad, but I wouldn't. I was like, I come on a breakaway. It was always either 5-hole, low glove, or upper blocker. Fake forehand, go backhand, upper blocker. Those are the three moves I had. So that was me.
So the Jets do score late, empty net goal. Cole Perfetti has the open cage from the red line and seals this one for the Winnipeg Jets. Shots were 37-22 Winnipeg, so the Blues did get manhandled in shots in this one.
Not good.
On the power play, the Blues were 0 for 1 and only 1 for 3 on the PK. Interesting note I wanted to add here, blocked shots. I always say I don't think these are ever tabulated correctly. They have St. Louis with 10, Winnipeg with 8.
Are you saying advanced stats are not accurate?
Well, they're not really advanced, I guess. They're more just the real-time stats, I think is what they call them. The block shots.
What I mean is though that there's a human behind the whole thing.
Yes.
Tabulating this
exactly.
Stuff. So yeah.
And I just don't think this was right at all because I could probably think of all 8 blocked shots Winnipeg had, which tells me those are the only ones that they had all night.
Turnovers is one that bugs me. It's like,
yes,
they had 4 turnovers in this game. 4? Are you fucking shitting me? They had 4 turnovers in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's times where you'll see turnovers are like 8-5 for the game, and then the next game you look at it's 24-12.
Yeah,
and it's how are these numbers so off?
Right. It's like they have a quota and they hit it in the first minute and we don't have to count turnovers the rest of this game.
Yep, I agree. Blues go 2-1 on the week. Some nice wins early, but definitely a rough loss against Winnipeg. Are you guys concerned about their play? I mean, they only play Winnipeg one more time this year, and it's much
Thank
later.
God.
Are you concerned about their play against a team like Winnipeg right now?
I think they've got to try to take some lessons, right? Winnipeg was pretty good at breaking down the Blues in the offensive zone, and after withstanding the storm early on, dominated a lot of the rest of the game. I think the Blues need to go back and watch a lot of tape from that game and take some lessons. By the time we get to the next time we play them, it hopefully will be completely irrelevant. But
yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not really. My concern with this team right now, the major concern I have with this team is the power play. Yes. We are dead last by a mile. 3.6%. when you really want to be over 20, right? 3.6%. We have 1 power play goal. One, right? Is that one? It's
it was Buchnevich against the Jets in Winnipeg.
One fucking
We had
goal.
one goddamn goal.
We
can't say goddamn on the air.
Oh, fuck it. No one's listening. Yeah, one goal. And, okay. So to start a season, you're 0 for whatever or 1 for a stupid number and on the power play. And you're like, okay, well, it's a small sample size, a small number of games. It'll even out. We'll come back to it. Holy fuck. How many games we in now? And it's like, we've got one goal. This is bad. This is not, I mean, it has looked better the last handful of games than the first handful of games, but still not getting the traffic, still not getting the second chances, still not getting.
You can look better all you want. You got to get results at some point.
I know. And I mean, I guess baby steps at this point, but holy fuck, this is historically bad. 3.6%. We're 32nd, last overall, obviously. Philadelphia, 31st, is 8.9. It's over twice, 2.5 times what we are. Washington, 30th. They're almost 3 times. It's just like, what the fuck is going on with this power play? They should be a little better. You have some really talented guys offensively that should be scoring. Fuck, it is bad. I don't know. They don't have that big body in front. I don't know what's going on. Buchnevich should be in front more than he is. I don't know.
I feel like when I watch this power play, I'm reminded of Andy Murray's power play. There was a lot of standing around and just passing around the perimeter when he was coach. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of that right now. Like, we'll see Torrey Krug make maybe a nice seam pass, but it's like then Kyrou will get it and corral and then send back to the point, but nobody's moving. They're all stagnant. And then, maybe like one of the defensemen will kind of cradle the line and then they'll all shift a little bit. But I just feel like the feet are not moving. They're not cycling. They're not getting the puck behind the net and then making guys kind of shift in different areas and making confusion with the defense. There's just not a lot of movement right now. And I think if they get their feet moving, maybe we'll see some confusion, which will lead to goals.
Right. Go back to the first game against Dallas. We had some good power play looks and we couldn't beat Ottinger, right? But they were quick passes off the stick, right? One touch passes and getting people moving around. They totally need to do that. And you know who's really good at starting that? Scott Perunovich.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? You've got a guy in the press box who is probably your best power play guy on defense.
Right.
And he's not
but he's not 6'7" and 247 pounds.
We're not a cup contender. So who gives a fuck? I know I don't understand. If we were a cup contender, I'd get it. I'd get like, well, there's no room for this guy. I understand that aspect. We've got so much talent. We're a cup contender. There's no room for this guy. That would make sense to me. We're not a cup contender. We're if we have a good season, we might get in the playoffs.
Right. Our own GM said we're shooting for the 3rd spot in the West.
Yeah.
Which
is fine.
Not in the West, the Central.
Right? Yeah, which is fine. I mean, and then you're a playoff team, but it's like, I mean, I'd be ecstatic if this team made the playoffs. That would be a successful season.
Oh,
very successful.
Dude, I would lose my shit.
Yeah.
It would be like we won the cup because I'd be like, oh my God, we get to see playoff hockey. Hell yes.
I think they can. And that's why it's frustrating right now, to see blown opportunities. The power play struggling so hard, and not burying good chances like they should be. And this shit's gonna come to a head later. It's like, well, they should have buried their chances earlier when they had chances and they're not. And if this keeps trending the way it is, it's like, well, we're a bottom 12 team in the league at this point.
Right.
Well,
at this point for me, it's I'm very frustrated watching these games back to back, right? And I'm like, I don't really want to watch these games because they're struggling so much. But you know, these are the games that they've got to start taking lessons from. And yeah, we're pissing away points that is probably going to cost us the playoffs, but this isn't our year, right? Our GM said as much. We're at best third in the Central, so we can forget about the year. We get to the playoffs. That is amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. So we have to suffer this time for players like Kyrou and Thomas to get better. But yeah, it's
you know what?
Painful.
I agree, and it's painful because the way they played against New Jersey and the way they played against Montreal, they put two really good games back to back, and they okay, two good games back to back coming up against a division opponent in Winnipeg, and who beat them earlier this season. Okay, time for a little payback at home, and they couldn't get it done. And you call it fucking puck luck for Winnipeg, you call it whatever. It doesn't matter. They didn't get the job done. And it's just, and that's just frustrating because they had a back-to-back win situation to build upon against a divisional opponent, and they didn't get it done at home. And that's just, like you said, pissing away points. And and this game was there for the taking. They dominated this game the first 7 minutes. They could have had 2 or 3 goals in the first 7 minutes of this game. It was unbelievable. I've never seen this Blues team. That's probably the most dominant I've seen this team in the first 7 minutes of the Winnipeg game in the past last season and this season combined. They were so dominant. It was unreal. I think Winnipeg had the puck out of the Blues zone. Not only they didn't have it in our zone at all the first 7 minutes of this game. It was like in the Winnipeg zone, then neutral zone, and then right back in again. They were pressuring hard, coming in waves, and they didn't, and had nothing to show for it. And that's what was frustrating. And then Winnipeg comes out and scores one, and then another one. And it's like, well, fuck. Here we go.
Well, you mentioned the power play, and Blues might need a new look. So the question is, could we see Scott Perunovich finally get some time tomorrow against the much-hated, recently, Arizona Coyotes, who seem to have the Blues number?
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Jeremy Rutherford, said on Twitter, Berube on possibility of Perunovich playing against Coyotes tomorrow. Apparently the quote was, good chance, yeah. We'll see what he can do. One of his strengths is power play and puck play. We need that right now. And I real quick, before we get into this, I do want to say part of the reason, well, okay, I don't want to put that in there. There is much reason to believe for sure why we didn't see Perunovich last night. Not that they would have made a change. He was actually attending.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What's his name? Johnson.
The funeral.
No.
Adam Johnson.
Thank you. Adam Johnson. He was attending the funeral. Apparently they were friends. So Perunovich was basically unavailable last night anyway. But either way.
No, the story they told during the game was that he flew back with Pionk and who's the other one? Was it Perfetti? No, Iafallo. Who they were all members of that Minnesota Duluth team that won a couple years ago.
Okay. So he was in town.
Yeah, he was in town. He was on that charter coming back with them. So that's bullshit that he wouldn't have been available because Pionk played and Pionk scored and Iafallo set up.
So
Iafallo had the game of his life. He played great. But anyway, there's a chance we'll see Perunovich. Now, again, here's what I'm going to ask Mr. Berube. Can we please give him a 12-6? Let him actually play defense this game. Let's see what he can do. Don't just put him out there for a minute of power play time. I'd like to actually see him get a chance and say, hey, is he getting walked to the outside? No? Then maybe he should stay in the lineup. Let's just see what he can do for a couple games.
Okay, so Brewery's quote, Rutherford has this quote here. Good chance, yeah, we'll see what he can do. One of his strengths is the power play and puck play. We need that right now. We fucking needed that for how many games now? And it's like, we've been calling for this. It's like the power play is awful. It's not producing anything, and it's costing them goals and costing them games. And it's like, fucking get your best power play quarterback out there. He's better than Krug on the power play. I mean, from limited action I've seen him, he is far better than Krug on the power play. I don't think it's even close. I think he's much better on the point in the power play than Krug is. So why isn't he in there playing?
Yeah,
that's your biggest weakness this season.
Yeah, and I think, again, like, your weakness right now to me, and I know people will argue with me about this, that I think your biggest weakness right now is not the defense. I mean, they did not have a great game against Winnipeg, but overall, if you're like, oh, we need the size on defense and Tyler Tucker and Marco Scandella, no, you don't. No. Take one of those guys out and let Perunovich play. And again, he doesn't have the size, but he's got the speed to make up for it. He's not a slow skater. So I think if you work with him in practice, and here's the structure, which I'm sure they've been doing, we need you to play this way and play defense this way when you're in the lineup. Let's not just wait for an injury. Let him play defense. Let's see what he does. And guess what? I bet his breakout is great. He's probably, well, we've seen it. He's a good breakout passer, and he joins the rush. He gets back when he needs to. I'm not saying he's going to be a gangbuster on defense, but I'd like to see him get the chance to see what he can do back there.
Jeff, who is the more talented defenseman, Tucker or Perunovich?
Perunovich. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. So why isn't he getting this opportunity? He's the more talented guy.
And I'll say, if this team had, I don't know, I'm throwing some names out there, Torrey Krug, Mike Green, Justin Falk, like Scott Perunovich, okay, work Tyler Tucker into that lineup. You need size. You need somebody who can defend your goaltender. I get that 100%. But you already have guys with size. Colton Parayko, Marco Scandella is pretty much, that's the only reason he's even playing, I guess. Robert Bortuzzo can play in this lineup.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you not, like, why is Tucker so needed for his size? You already have that in other players. Let's have a guy who might actually contribute to the offense and, again, not get walked every shift like we've seen in Tyler Tucker.
And maybe they're like going in shifts. Maybe Tyler Tucker gets the first handful of games to prove what he can do. And then, okay, we'll shift over to Perunovich to get the next 15 games or whatever to see what he can do. Maybe that's their secret strategy. Okay, because maybe, and if that's the case, if they were to come out and say that's what they're doing, I'm like, okay, as long as you have plans to give Perunovich a fair shake defensively and a regular shift, and not just in a situation where they're playing 7 defensemen, right? Actually play him against on a regular shift, then okay, I get it, but that's something that I don't know if they could share that or if that's a good idea or not. I think
that's a terrible idea.
To share it?
I hope you're right. No, but I'm saying if it's like you get 10 games and you get 10 games, to me it should be based on play. You didn't play well.
I
so
agree.
We're going to move you out and move in this other rookie.
Well, I agree, but if management is going into the season thinking we're not really a playoff team or not a strong playoff team, so we'll do this. We'll give Tucker the starts right out of the chute for a while, and then if that doesn't work out the way we wanted it to, then we'll transition over to Perunovich and see what he can do for a while. Now, I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm not saying that's the best idea, but I'm saying that's maybe what they could happen. And if that is what's happening, I think I'm okay with that strategy as long as Perunovic gets his fair shot that Tucker's getting. That's what I'm saying.
That is better than the alternative of it just being Berube, basically Tucker being a Berube guy, and it's just he's going to continue getting minutes. Like
maybe
to me, that would be what you're saying is a much better alternative.
Well, I think the Berube guy quotes, the tough guy, the defensive first mentality, philosophy. He's shot that down in the past as far as what he's looking for in a team. He wants creativity. He said this. He wants creativity. He wants offensive play from his team. He doesn't want that taken away, because of added defensive responsibilities. But, based on the lineups we've seen every game, that makes you wonder how truthful he's being in that because of Perunovic, just with Perunovic and Tucker, because that's a great barometer to see what kind of a coach Berube is when he's playing Tucker over Perunovic, not just a little bit, by a lot. Has Perunovic started like 2 games this season?
I think he's got 2 games.
2 games.
And they were both 11-7.
11-7, both games where he's not playing a ton and didn't even play a ton on the power play, which was weird.
And they were back-to-back too. That was the Vancouver Calgary series.
So, I mean, it's still, we're still not that far into the season. So, we'll see how things pan out. But so far, it's like, hey, you need to get Perunovic in there. Otherwise, why is he even in this franchise?
Yep. Well, moving on, talking about some offense here. Adam Gaudette named the AHL Player of the Month of October. Of course, he plays for the Springfield Thunderbirds, the Blues AHL affiliate. Why else would we mention it? Adam Gaudette scored goals in a team record 6 consecutive games for the Thunderbirds and finished the month with 9 goals and 11 points in 8 contests during October. His 9 goals sit atop the AHL leaderboard in the category in the month of October. Last season, he posted career highs with 27 goals and 51 points while skating in 65 AHL games between Springfield and Toronto. I bring this up because we talked about Gaudette with Vanessa Graff over the summer. She was impressed by his play. She watches the Thunderbirds games and basically said he might be a guy that could be a bottom 6 player for the Blues this year. Obviously that has not been the case. He's played in the AHL and he's playing great. He was a guy that was a pickup it was the O'Reilly trade, correct? From Toronto. Yeah, that's correct. I'm going to just answer myself.
I think you're correct. Yes.
Yes, I am. Because it came from Toronto. But I mention it too, because I think a lot of people, let's just face it, there will be an injury at some point. A lot of people are going to expect a Dean or a Bolduc to be called up. Gaudette is playing his ass off right now. There's a chance he is the Blues' first call-up at this point. So that's just a name to keep an eye on. Adam Gaudette, I know last I looked, he was second in goals scored in the AHL this year. So he's having a great year down in Springfield.
Yeah, why not? I mean, there have been a handful of games. I mean, I don't think the Blues are struggling offensively like they were early in the season. But still, with that said, why not bring him up the first call up? That's
why not Gaudette?
Why not Gaudette? Yes, exactly.
So he's gonna win the Conn Smythe 5 years from now?
Yeah, right.
If where are we at here? So if Gaudette were with the Blues all season long, would he have more points than Kyrou?
Right now?
Right now. Kyrou's got 6 points in 11 games.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
2 goals, 4 assists.
He might have more goals, but I don't think he has more points.
Okay.
Depending on what line he plays on.
Hayes, Shen, Saad, Sundqvist, Verana.
Now you're just listing forwards.
Yeah, I know. I'm going down the list of players in order of scoring.
O'Reilly, Barbashev,
O'Reilly.
Tarasenko.
Perron.
Saw a video of O'Reilly with Brown and Crouppen. Have you guys seen that? The little 10-minute long infomercial they did outside of one of St. Louis's famous delis. Have you seen that?
See that. Yeah,
that's pretty good. Yeah, this was done last year. I just saw it for the first time a few days ago. Yeah, pretty good.
Yep, good stuff. Next up for the Blues, Thursday, again, they play the Arizona Coyotes at 7:00 here in St. Louis. That ends the road or the home trip. Then, Then Saturday they go on a road stand at Colorado. They actually it's just a 1-game road stand. In Colorado. I guess that could technically be a road stand, right? If you only have 1 game.
Whatever it is, fuck Colorado. Fuck
Colorado.
Don't you have to buy produce from a road stand though?
Yes.
They can buy some kale.
Buy some bad shrimp.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, the Blues do welcome in the Tampa Bay Lightning at 7:00. So that is the next 3 games for the St. Louis Blues. Rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. Guys, I'm going to flip this on us because I don't want to end on the Blackhawks. Let's go ahead and talk about them first. Second, there's a second former player suing the Chicago Blackhawks, accusing former coach of sexual assault. This person is accusing, they're calling him John Doe. They have not released who he is. He's accusing the team of overlooking his complaints that then video coach Brad Aldrich sexually assaulted him leading up to the 2010 Stanley Cup final. Attorneys for the unnamed player say he was inspired by former Blackhawks player Kyle Beach, who sued the team in 2021 over his handling of similar sexual assault allegations Beach made against Aldrich in 2010. The lawsuit filed last week says the Blackhawks put this is a quote here, Stanley Cup championship aspirations ahead of the welfare of its players and provided cover to a sexual predator on its coaching staff who groomed, harassed, threatened, and assaulted John Doe.
I don't think that's any question. Quenneville came out and said that. He didn't want to be a distraction. Yeah.
Doe was a member of the Black Aces, a group of prospective players who are available to play if a roster player is unable to participate, including in cases of injury or suspension, according to the lawsuit. The former player accuses Aldrich of being, quote, overtly and aggressively sexual toward him and threatening Doe's career to coerce him to not report the coach's actions, which included attempting to make Doe and others watch pornographic videos or movies with him. The lawsuit says among the other accusations is that on several occasions during the 2009-2010 season and Stanley Cup playoffs, Aldrich, quote, approached John Doe from behind, grabbed him in a hugging gesture, and ground his penis against John Doe's back and buttocks through his clothes, the lawsuit states. So very clearly, very inappropriate sexual misconduct. So a second player has come out and said that he was also sexually assaulted by Brad Aldrich. Sounds like he tried to do the same thing Kyle Beach did and was shut down again. And so because of this, and Cart, I believe you're the one that said this on social media, the Blackhawks have been awarded the 2025 first overall pick.
Because of this, yeah. I mean, I have no reason to believe this is not true. I mean, and it just
where there's smoke, right? Like we've already seen this before, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, and I understand that it's so difficult to come forward for a number of reasons, right? For whether it's one, it's embarrassing, two, your career is at stake. You feel like you could be blackballed and not, given a chance to even play in the NHL or whatever. Your reasons are for not, but it just sucks that it happened 13 years ago and it's just coming out now, this kind of thing. So there should not be a statute of limitations on this thing. So I don't know. I totally believe, based on what's already happened, totally believe this accuser. I mean, without even knowing who he is, I'm like, that. Why wouldn't I give credence to his, accusation? That's, you have to at least hear him out and investigate it fully, right? It's just so disappointing, and the Blackhawks organization it's just a complete shit show disappointment as far as the inability. They didn't do anything to prevent to stop this.
Not only did they not do anything, they allowed Aldrich to go work with fucking children.
They didn't just allow him; they wrote him a letter of endorsement for his next job, where he assaulted other people, other kids at a school. And it's just like, what the? Okay, I mean, I think we were pissed off at the time at how the league came down so lightly on the Hawks for this. God forbid if they fuck up a trade, right? Because the hammer comes down, they lose draft picks, and that's the end of the world.
Oh, you better not train prospective players before either, because the Arizona Coyotes have learned they will also lose draft picks for that.
I mean, I don't. It pisses me off because I love hockey so much, but I fucking hate the NHL and how they operate with shit like this. And it just pisses me off because it's so easy to do the right thing, right? The right thing is spilled out right in front of you. Just do the right thing, and they just don't. They slap on the wrist. What do they give them? Like $1 million fine or something?
$2 million
$2 million. $2 million fine. Keep all your draft picks. It's fine. $2 million is nothing. The Blackhawks are a very rich organization. $2 million is not that much. And for the
argument that people say is, well, they fired that regime. They're all gone. I don't care. There needs to be lasting effect for this. If the St. Louis Blues, God forbid, this were to ever happen in their time frame where there's a coach doing this to players, if they say, hey, Blues, you don't get a first-round pick for the next 10 years, I'd be like, yeah, that fucking sucks. But, yep, I'm good with that because it's well-deserved.
For a while, I wanted Quenneville, like, oh, well, Quenneville might come back here. Oh, we should maybe hire him. And I was all on board. But after the Kyle Beach thing, I'm like, nope, no thank you. I was a huge Quenneville fan when he was with the St. Louis. He had so much success here. Couldn't get a cup, but had regular season success, crazy amount. And then went to Chicago, won some cups, and he was a great head coach. I'm thinking, wow, if he's available, bring him back here. That'd be fantastic. Until the Kyle Beach thing came out. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I'm like, no, thank you. As much as I liked him before, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with him. The NHL, and so, I mean, it's so easy to say, nope, there are a million coaches out there that would do a fine job with an NHL team. We don't need to bring back in this controversy with Quenneville and just sever ties completely. And there's like rumors that teams that the NHL might reinstate him as far as like being available to coach. And so I think Tim Peel, right? Did you see this? Tim Peel on social media?
I unfortunately saw.
Former NHL referee Tim Peel said that Quenneville will be a great next head coach for the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
Why don't you go get hit in the dick again, Tim Peel? Dumbass.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's so easy to be on the right side of the situation, but you got to fucking be on the wrong side of it for no fucking reason at all. Why? You got to be an asshole or just like stupid. I don't get it.
Yeah. Was it LeBron that earlier this season put out a piece that, the NHL's think about reinstating both Stan Bowman and Joel Quenneville, and it was like the backlash that tweet got was insane and correct.
Yeah.
Right?
Can you imagine if you were hired somewhere, the backlash league wide? You can't do it.
I said this on Twitter when the Pride Tape thing was going on. I'm like, how in the hell can the NHL be on so one side of no gay, don't say gay, like basically their don't say gay policy with the Pride Tape, but in the same time reinstate guys who hid a gay sexual predator? Like,
yeah,
it makes my mind want to explode. It makes no sense to me. Like, it's okay for Brad Aldrich to do what he did, but guys can't wear freaking Pride Tape on their sticks? What are you doing? It makes no sense to me.
I mean, and it goes back to what I said before. It's like, I love hockey so much, but I fucking hate the way the NHL operates so much. It's just like it's like a tug of war with me in this game. It's like, I love the sport, but then you hear stuff like this, and it's like, it makes you hate it. So you're like torn. And I'm always going to love hockey. It's not going to go away. But man, fuck, if the NHL hasn't lost some fans over this, I mean, surely they had to have. And it's just like, I mean, you're only going to keep your diehards, and you're going to lose some of your fringe fans who are just put off by this whole, their inability to do the right thing in these situations.
Well, and it makes you think, like, with areas that have like the junior leagues, like up north, and even maybe areas that have like even just the AHL or the ECHL. You got to figure a lot of those fans are like, people in Springfield probably become fans of the Blues or already fans of the Bruins because it's so close to Boston. You got to figure fans like that are sitting there going, I don't need to watch the NHL. Like, they're so ridiculous. I can't put up with the policies they have in place, the shit they've done with the Pride Tape is an example. This is another example with Brad Aldrich and the penalties on the Blackhawks. Fans like that are like, I've got other hockey I can watch. Sure, it's not the best in the world, but it's still hockey, and hockey's great. So I don't need the NHL. Fuck off, NHL. That's probably happening right now across the world. And it's a shame because the product in the NHL is so great, but they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah. There's a clear right side and a clear wrong side in this situation. I don't give a fuck who you are. I will come on the show. I will have a discussion, debate if you disagree, but there is a fucking clear right and a clear wrong. And if you're on the wrong side of this, you're just fucking wrong. I'm sorry. There's no negotiation with this. There's a right and a wrong, and that's that. And to be on the wrong side of this is just like, what are you doing? Why?
Yep. Well, here's the fun transition into the next story. We mentioned it earlier with the Carolina Hurricanes. Frederik Andersen, unfortunately, has blood clotting issues, no timetable for return. He was 4-1-0 this season with an .894 save percentage and a .287 goals against average. The Hurricanes did add, which I found this okay. Hurricanes added Yaroslav Halak on a free agent tryout. That made me giggle a little bit because, again, Kurt, maybe you'll remember the guy with the Russian name, the goaltender they have in their system, Peter something. They got him, and they've got Antti Ranta.
The Hurricanes
clearly they don't trust their guys, so they're going out and looking at Yaroslav Halak.
That's
something I said on the Puck podcast, and I know it's early. And Bill, you made the comment you don't make goalie trades at this point in the season. If I'm Carolina, I'm like, we need somebody. I'm calling San Jose, and I'm getting Mackenzie Blackwood. That's the only guy I'm looking at that I'm like, that's the one move we could probably make to get a goalie. Yaroslav Halak, that ain't it. I'm sorry. Love you, Yarrow. That ain't it, buddy. And if you don't trust what you already have, I don't see that.
What's that say for your that's not exactly a shot in the arm for your existing goaltending depth in the organization, right?
I think it
Holy
speaks
cow.
to the available goaltending depth in the league.
That's
right?
true.
Which
What?
going back to our first topic tonight, the Binnington trade, right?
Yes, exactly. Right. You don't move the guy unless you get blown away.
Right.
Because you just don't come across goalies that are good. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? It's like trading away a number one defenseman. You don't do that. You just don't do it. You don't trade away a goalie who's good.
I can't pronounce it. Peter Kochekov. I looked it up.
Sounds right.
Yes.
Kochekov. I believe that's it.
Kochekov.
Sorry. No, I agree with you.
Jackoff.
You don't trade away goalies that are good. And for San Jose, they're the only team that I look at that's like they have no interest in making the playoffs this year. They're the only team that I think could maybe make a goalie trade.
Right. And yeah, they've got Blackwood. Hell, I think if you traded anybody, you'd get 5 good games out of them. Anybody on San Jose, right? It's like, thank God I'm out of there.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Blackwood played his ass off in that 2-1 win. Against,
dude, he was
Philadelphia.
Great.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I've actually watched a lot of the Sharks because I'm like, I wanted to be able to watch their first win. So the last 4 or 5 games I've watched.
Me too.
And I think even in those 10 spot games, I don't think he's looked that bad.
Yeah.
The team in front of him is that bad.
Wait.
No.
No. If the goaltending numbers are bad, he's a bad goalie.
Right.
That's just the way it works.
I forgot about that.
It's not the team in front.
Point.
It's never the team in front. The advanced stats say he's bad. He's bad.
Well, he had 8 backdoor chances and he only stopped 5 of them. What a fucking loser!
Yeah, no, it's his numbers are bad. His high danger chance is bad. So yeah, he's a bad goalie.
Anyway, bad news about Frederik Andersen. I just thought it was interesting. Jarro Halak is the guy they're looking at. Who could?
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope it works out for him.
Me too. I always liked Jarro. I still like him. I just think
too.
a team of that caliber, very interesting to see that name come across.
Yeah, we talked about this. I liked Halak when he was here, but it just so happened that come playoff time he was always hurt, and the one time he wasn't, he got hurt in the playoffs, due to Jackman. So
thank you, Barrett Jackman.
Yeah. So I mean, it just sucked during his time here that he couldn't carry the mail in the playoffs because he was hurt.
Right. Well, guys, I think that's our show. Have anything else to add?
No.
Nope.
No? All right.
I'm tapped. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, me too.
All right, you guys go ahead and go. I got this. Well, support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Mike Burgoyne from Rio Brokerage Realty. Email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today for all your home buying and selling needs. That's mike@strikewithmike.com or call him over at 314-753-4060. That number again, 314-753-4060. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's tasty hockey-themed beer. Check out your local beer vendors for availability. That's Center Ice Brewery beer. Please drink responsibly. That will wrap up episode 5 of season 13 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Bill Day, Kirk Price, and producer, listener Austin, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, good God, beat the Coyotes. Let's go Blues.
Clayton Keller with 5 goals. Let's go Blues.
Ooh. Hate Keller, love Keller. Same time. Love-hate relationship with Keller. Let's go Blues.
We love you, Clayton Keller. Don't score any goals.
No.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?